سپین سهار د آزادۍ مراختلی پر ملت هیواد والو مبارک مشاکل زاد حریت لا شمال تر جنوب امنیت د امنیت.
In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. 5 years have passed since the Islamic Emirate returned to power in Afghanistan. 5 years that have been accompanied by extensive political, security, and economic changes, as well as numerous challenges and opportunities. During this period, the Islamic Emirate has been formally recognized by only one country, Russia. At the same time, it has expanded its political and diplomatic relations and interactions with many countries around the world. But how was the Islamic Emirate established? How did the occupation of Afghanistan begin? And what stages did the struggle that ultimately led to the return of this government to power go through? In this interview, we will examine these developments from their beginning to the present day. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to this exclusive interview. I am Rohullah Anwari, and here with me is Talha Aziz. And our guest on this interview is His Excellency Mr. Muhajar Farahi, the Deputy Minister for Publication Affairs at the Ministry of Information and Culture. Mr. Farahi is also the author of the books by the name of 24 Asad 1400 or 15 August 2021, The Day of Victory, and The Memories of Jihad, 20 Years in Occupation, which are recently published. Mr. Farahi, welcome, and thank you very much for giving us your time. As my first question, I would like to ask you, how was the Islamic Emirate established? You have written that the late Amir al-Mu'mineen Mullah Muhammad Umar Mujahid, rahmahullah, began the uprising from one of the villages by the name of Sangi-Hisar in Panjwai district of Kandahar with several of his companions. But however, domestic and foreign opponents have consistently claimed that Taliban is the creation of Pakistan. Please provide clarification on this matter.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. If you want to know about the establishing of previous Islamic Emirate, we need to go a few years back when Russian invaded Afghanistan. Our nation, all population stood against them. They did jihad and they gave sacrifice. Millions of our people migrant to neighboring countries. Millions of our population martyred, wounded. That war destroyed, damaged all of our infrastructure, cities, schools, madrasas. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave the victory to Afghan nation and Mujahideen, they entered to Kabul city. Unfortunately, they fought against each other. The Afghan nation was optimistic that the misery of our nation has ended and there will be an Islamic government. The refugee will return to its country. But unfortunately, a huge anarchism come all over the country. There were warlords. Every part of the country was an independent role. There was no any obeying from the central government. The security was too much bad. The property of every one of our civilian was not safe. Many leaders try to control the situation, bring peace between the jihadist groups, but unfortunately all effort was failed. That's why late leader Mullah Muhammad Umar Mujahid was in Kandahar and Sangisar. He consulted with some of his companions to stand against that condition. That time there was no any idea with him to control all over the country. Only their purpose was to bring peace, stability, and security in their district. One of the traders helped with them. The trader was by the name of Bashar Nurzai. He provided them some equipment, vehicles, and money. They attacked and one of checkpoint, killed the commander of that checkpoint. And when the people, civilian in Kandahar, informed about that moment, they were concluding to that moment. So the Islamic movement of Afghanistan, or the Islamic Emirat, was the response of that time condition and situation. The establishing of Islamic Emirat was totally Afghani. There was no any help, any support of foreigners. As I mentioned to you, as I explained the situation of that time, so this was a response to the situation and condition of that period.
And what's your message to those opponents who claim that Taliban is the creation of Pakistan?
So the answer is very simple. You know, after the becoming of Islamic Emirat, that at this time and the last period of Islamic Emirat, the big enemy of our government, as you know, Pakistan. Pakistan helped with NATO, American and their forces. They gave their air and space and American choice. As you know, in current Islamic Emirat, from many months, there are conflict between Afghanistan and Pakistan. This is the habit of enemy, always the blame. They do propaganda against Afghanistan, and they cannot see a stable government. That's why they're blaming Islamic Emirat.
Thank you, Mr. Farahi. And the second question, before the Islamic Emirat came to power in Afghanistan during its first period, was there risk of the country's fragmentation? What measures did the Islamic Emirat of Afghanistan undertake to prevent the countries from being divided?
As I mentioned before, there was a huge risk dividing the territory of Afghanistan between our neighbors. That time there was some maps made from some individual that they will divide Afghanistan. This is the place of Islamic Emirat for two times. Islamic Emirat rescue Afghanistan from dividation last period and also current Islamic Emirat did this job, that now we have a unique Afghanistan.
Thank you, Mr. Farahi. So it's my turn to ask the question. Mr. Farahi, can you please tell us about the 9/11 attack? Because this is the question that still remains in the mind of many people. What was the reality behind this incident?
Actually, there is no any evidence who was behind this attack. What was the main purposes of that attack? And no one took responsibility of that attack till now. But unfortunately, American and its allies made a pretext and reason for Afghanistan invasion. Anyone cannot see who was in behind of that attack and who did that, what was the purpose of that attack. I mean, till now, any investigation or any report we don't have about that attack.
Thank you, Mr. Farahi. Well, at the time, United States of America wanted to attack Afghanistan and was fully prepared for the attack, and asked some of the neighboring countries to provide them air bases and their territory. And who agreed? Which country agreed with them and gave them the air bases and their territory to attack on Afghanistan?
Yes, unfortunately, many countries agreed with America, and our south neighbor Pakistan gave choice of its land and air and space for America. Thousands of flights was from Pakistan for bombardment Afghanistan. 20 years they give safe way to need to supply. They arrest ambassador of Islamic Emirat and transfer to American. This action was totally against all international laws because Pakistan that time recognized the Islamic Emirat.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Farahi. About the dialogues and negotiations with the America, why it was failed with them? And what was the decision of America to launch a military attack on Afghanistan?
Yes, I think American decided aggression of Afghanistan. They seek some pretext and some reason. However, Islamic Emirat tried to solve the problem by discussion and negotiation. But unfortunately, at that time, America was proud by its technology, by its allies. That's why they was not ready to solve the problem by negotiation.
Thank you, Mr. Farahi. We will be right back after the short break. Welcome back. Mr. Farahi, I have read your book, The Day of Victory, 15 August. On the page 26, you refer to George Bush's final statement in which he said, "The oppressed people of Afghanistan will see the generosity of the United States and its allies." In your view, during the 20 years administration of the Republic, what did the people of Afghanistan experience in the name of this generosity with the support of the United States and its allies? Please.
Unfortunately, last 20 years was a very hard time for our civilian. They bombed our village, destroyed our schools, madrasas. They bombed wedding parties. They bombed session of celebration of madrasas and school. They killed tribal leader, and we have been experienced this year a lot of atrocities, torturing, assassination of innocent people. They provide some facilities, or they sent some materials to help with the people, but unfortunately all of the money or everything they helped to Afghanistan, it's went back to pocket of war commander, and also it's back to American. You can see, you can read investigation of cigar in this era.
So you mean the bombing Afghan people, Afghan civilian was their generosity?
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Farahi. At the time of war, did the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan received any support from any other countries, or what is your message for those Afghan who was stood with Americans and its foreigner allies that fought with its own people in the country?
I speak about myself. I was a commander that time, during the jihad time. As I investigated a lot about this task, I couldn't find a signal evidence that other country help with Mujahideen. All of our equipment was from our civilian. They help Mujahideen by weapons, by money. They were providing everything to Mujahideen. And last 20 years, we used the weapons which was existed in Afghanistan, which was remained from Russian, from Soviet Union time. And as you know, all Afghan population has the habit keeping of weapons in their houses. And many times that was the civilian that providing bullets, weapons to Mujahideen. Only one RPG and one Kalashnikov Islamic Emirate has provided to me, to my companions. I had the time 100 of fighters, but all weapons was which we seized from enemy and from help of our civilian.
Thank you. About the message that those Afghans who were fighting with the Mujahideen, and which countries supported them?
Everyone know that always the invaders they support for a while its puppet, and when their purposes become complete, they leave them, they escape. Current now, the some individual recruit from some countries, especially Pakistan. As you know, in last a few weeks ago, Islamic Emirat airstrike on their centers. This will be our message to them, not to fight against Islamic Emirat, not damage their country by indicating of enemies of this country. There is no any problem, any trouble to them and country. Our supreme leader, Amirul Mu'mineen Hafizahullah, issued general forgiveness for all of them.
Thank you, Mr. Farahi. The next question is about Dasht Layli. If you provide information about Dasht Layli and about the negotiations with the General Dostum and about the result of those discussions, if you say in details.
Yes, when American started airstrike Afghanistan, the day by day they were surrounding the area. Most of Mujahideen was in Kunduz city. They gathered there. That time the leaders, the commanders consult to talk with Dostum to give the safe way to Mujahideen. Mujahideen will leave to them huge weapons and vehicles, and they will provide them, they facilitate them to go to turn their homes. There was a deal, an agreement with them, but unfortunately they broke agreement and put Mujahideen in containers. Approximately 3,000 Mujahideen was martyred in containers, and all of martyr's body they transferred to Dasht Layli, and they buried them, and they dig big places and they buried them. So that was a misery, that was atrocity. All of these brutalities done by supporting of Americans support them, and there was their special forces with Dostum and its militant.
Thank you, Mr. Farahi. After the provinces and eventually Kabul fell and the republican system was established, what decision did the Islamic Emirates official make? Although the Emirate structure appeared to have collapsed, what was decided at the time and what was the strategy for the future?
As the late leader of Islamic Emirat, that time advised to Mujahideen to go back their villages and mountains and manage and start guerrillas war against the enemy.
Okay.
So it seemed that the government was collapsed, but this was a preparation to start new war. I mean, they changed the way of the war. They start guerrillas war against the enemy.
Thank you, Mr. Farahi. And the next question is about the Bonn Conference. What was the objectives of this conference, and what was the impact of its political future of Afghanistan?
Yes, always the invader tries to show a country, a nation, that they want an administration or a government by their wishes. They had appointed before from Bonn Conference who will be president, who will be defense minister. But they made that conference and they elected Hamid Karzai. That time he was in Uruzgan province. He was fighting with Islamic Imarat Mujahideen by support of America. Once a time, Mujahideen surrendered him and killed many of his companions and colleagues, but the American helicopters rescued him from Mujahideen.
Okay. Thank you very much. We have a short break. We will be right back. Welcome back. Mr. Farahi, please tell us about the major facilities and military bases of the United States and its allies in Afghanistan. Which strategical important areas and locations of the country did they control, and what purposes they used them?
Yes, during aggression, American allies, they made huge center for them. One of was the Bagram airspace. That was a huge center for foreigners. They planned night raising and also operation from that airbase. Also in West Afghanistan, there was the Camp Bastion or the Shorab airbase. The capacity of that airbase was 30,000 soldiers. And also it was a busiest air base. 100 of flight every day was doing from that air base. Duer, Kandahar airport, Mazar Sharif, and different areas of Afghanistan there was foreigner bases. Also in provinces and districts and some villages, there was the small center of invaders. Those centers used by foreign as also jail. They were torturing, abusing detainees, and these jails also out of country. Maybe you heard the name of Guantanamo Bay.
Thank you, Mr. Farahi. My next question is, could you provide us with the information about the operation and war crime committed by the United States and its allies in Afghanistan? At what time were these operations mostly carried out? At night or during the day? Do you have any particular recollection from these operations that you have not yet shared? Additionally, could you tell us about the difficulties encountered during these operations, the resistance they faced, and the circumstances surrounding their withdrawal?
Yes, the way of operation of foreigner invaders was different. They sometimes they had very big operation. We can get the name of joint operation in Helmand in Marja. Only 15,000 Marines, American Marines, was involved that operation. Besides thousands of Afghan puppet soldiers. That operation, the operation of joint, was controlling the president of that time, Obama. He himself watching and controlling that operation from America. And also there was different kind of big operation in Helmand, in Farah, in Kunar. Also another example of that was the night raid. It was very, very brutal. They were bringing the soldier in helicopters, and they surrounding a village, a home, capturing individuals. Sometimes they were killing, they were torturing, they abusing, they arresting innocent people and transfer them to jails. So the way of their operation was different, not was. In the last days of occupation, when Mujahideen become strongest, they cannot go out from their bases. One way remained to them, they were bombing the areas, villages and Mujahideens.
Thank you, Mr. Farahi. Well, beside those operations, you have mentioned in your book numerous operations that were announced and carried out by the Military Affairs Commission of the Islamic Emirate. I would like to mention a few examples of these operations. Please provide us and our viewers with brief information about each of them. The Al-Ibrat operation, Al-Nasrat operation, the Khalid bin Walid operation, and the various phases of the Al-Fatah operations. What was the purpose behind launching these operations? What were their primary areas of focus? And ultimately, what achievements did they accomplish?
Yes, when Jihadi movement is spread to all Afghanistan, all over the country, Islamic Emirate every year announced an operation by a specific name. As you mentioned, Al-Ibrat, Khalid bin Walid, Mansouri, Omari, and the last operation was by the name of Al-Fath or Victory. The main goal of that operation was American foreigners, and their bases. It was their priority. And after this, the central of provinces, bases of foreigners, and also militant. So there was a huge power in every operation. Islamic Emirat Mujahideen had a very big achievement from that operation, and automatically that operation, the announcement of that operation was a real pressure on enemy.
Thank you, Mr. Farahi. Please provide us with information about the opening of the Islamic Emirat's political office in Qatar. What was the purpose behind establishing this office? Who proposed the initiation of direct negotiations between the Islamic Emirat and the United States? Was the proposal made by the Islamic Emirat or the United States of America?
As I mentioned before, Islamic Emirat tried to solve the problem with America by negotiation. But unfortunately, at that time, America was not listening, hearing to anyone. When the war spread in different areas of Afghanistan, then that was the American, they proposed peace negotiation to Islamic Emirat. And then Islamic Emirat accept their proposal for negotiation, because we have a verse in the Holy Quran. Quran says to us, to Mujahideen, وَإِن جَنَهُ لِلسَّلْمِ فَاجْنَحْ لَهَا. According to this verse of the Holy Quran, Islamic Emirat Mujahideen accept their suggestion for negotiation, and they opened an official office in capital of Qatar, Doha, and they start directly negotiation with American. There were some sides, some aspects. They tried to mediate for negotiation with America and Islamic Emirat, but Islamic Emirat emphasized that they should talk directly with invaders.
Thank you, Mr. Farahi. Mr. Farahi, that's my last question. And after this, we will go to the audience because they're also interested to ask something from you. So my last question is, what would you say about the 20 years period of the Republic administration? What benefits or disadvantages did the people of Afghanistan experience during this period?
First of all, we cannot call government. It was totally puppet of the foreigners.
The previous regime?
Yeah, absolutely. There was no any benefits to Afghan nation, to our country. There is no any big project, infrastructure that lasts to our nation. It was totally a puppet administration, protecting the benefits of foreigners, fighting for protecting of New York and Washington. As the called president of that time said, that we are fighting
For New York.
to New York.
To save New York.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Farahi. We have a short break. We will be right back, and we will listen to the questions of audience.
Yes. Thank you for being with us. Mr. Farahi, let's go to the audience.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. My name is Zubair Ahmad Mumand. I would like to ask a question for Mr. Farahi. My question is that what are the differences between the first period of the Islamic Emirate and the current government?
Assalamu alaikum. I am Abdurrafi, respected Mr. Farahi. I have a question for you. Mr. Farahi, what is your opinion about those people who oppose the Islamic Emirate?
Thank you. Mr. Farahi, the first question was differences between the first period of Islamic Emirate and the current government of Palestine.
Yes, there will be some differences between the last period of Islamic Emirate and current Islamic Emirate. As you know, that time the war didn't stop. Only 95% of our territory controlled by Islamic Emirate. The war continued. The most expenditure and focus was in war. So they didn't find full time to start reconstruction and for making the country. But Alhamdulillah, there was a good security, stability, peace, combat against the corruption. And this current Islamic Emirate, as we are in 5-year journey of Islamic Emirate, and in these 5 years, Islamic Emirate has big development and different aspects. The reconstruction, building of highways, electricity, agriculture of narcotics, also the treatment of thousands of addicted persons. We have a numerous change or progressive works after coming of Islamic Emirate. As the last period, Alhamdulillah, also we have peace and security, stability, there is no war. And Islamic Emirate, the government tried to create job opportunities to its civilian.
Thank you. The second question was your opinion about those people who oppose Islamic Emirates.
So they are puppet. They work for the benefits of the foreigners. They don't believe, they don't trust to their country, to their national interest. But remember, who or anyone want to disturb the current security, they will fail. Their destiny will be like those held to British, to Soviet Union Army, and to American last 20 years. We call from your mic all of them. They are against Islamic Emirate. They are opponent of Islamic Emirate. Come back to their country. We know there are some problems. We have some problems now, but Islamic Emirate leadership are commitment to solve all of these problems.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Farahi. We are returning back to the remaining questions. You have mentioned a lot of things in your book, 24 Assad 1400 or 15 August, the day of victory. But what topics were you unable to address in this book? And do you have a future plan to write more of these topics or not?
Yes, there are many things which left from me. This book is very short, and I collect very briefly some big topics I brought here in my book. The 20 years is a big era. There were a lot of big atrocities, bombardment, which killed hundreds of our innocent civilians. About the way, how was the behavior of foreigners and with detainees. About the corruption, about the security at the time. It's need to a long time to write, to collect, to have read to all sides, all aspects of the time.
Well, thank you very much. And the last question of this interview is that what is the secret behind the Islamic Emirates' victory against the 20 years military presence and occupation?
It's a very important question. What was the secret of successness of Mujahideen against a superpower of the world? This question is so important. My answer will be the Mujahideen was unique last 20 years. They obey all of decrees of Amirul Mu'mineen. They obey every decree, every farman of the leadership. Also, Mujahideen was trusted and the help of Almighty Allah. With all of these things, nation was with Mujahideen. When the support of the civilian or nation, when Mujahideen are united and unique, when you obey the order of your leadership, then the help, the nasrat of Almighty Allah will with you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Farahi, for giving us your valuable time for joining us on this interview. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to the audience and our viewers. This brings today's exclusive interview to an end. Have a good time ahead.
سپین سهار د آزادۍ مراختلی پر ملت هیوادوالو مبارک مشاکل زاد حریت لا شمال تر جنوب